Alejandro Garnacho, one of previously our most loved players, is fast becoming public enemy number one. Guess what? He's trending for all the wrong reasons on X and several social media platforms. Listen, this toxicity cannot be starting. My name is Webb. Welcome to the United Sport. Here to talk about the goal drought and the poor attitude, especially of our front three players. That's the players in the final third. That's what I'm here to focus on. Welcome aboard. Like, share and subscribe. Now, listen, guys, it's just 2 days to the arrival of Ruben Amorim, and one of our youngest, most exciting players is being attacked for reasons that he has brought onto himself. Alejandro Garnacho this season has scored 2 goals in the Premier League, assisted once, but in the EFL Cup, he has played 2 games and scored 3 goals. Of course, he had to score a goal in Europe, neither has he assisted a single goal, but he's certainly been an important player for Manchester United. But his attitude every day is becoming worse, and yesterday it was probably an all-time low. It was such a poor game for him to a point that his teammates decided not to pass the ball to him. Now, when it gets to that, even the captain, Bruno, throwing his arms in frustration with you, when you're a 20-year-old kid, it doesn't look good at all on you. More so if a new manager is coming in. Now, Garnacho may not see this because he's a young player. And you know how kids of today, the Gen Zs, you don't tell them nothing. I mean, you don't complain to them, you don't express your feelings to them, you just have to handle them a certain way. Now, listen, with Man United performing bad, certainly no one cares about his age. If you're starting games for Man United day in and day out, you've got to turn up, you've got to show up, you're expected to show the right attitude. Now, the goal drought that we are having is caused by clearly, this wrong attitude of these players. And that's why even our striker, Rasmus Højlund, is not scoring goals, and we saw him substituted and get walking off frustrated. So the bad attitude of a one Garnacho is certainly is beginning to spread and affect the whole team. You don't want Ruben Amorim to arrive into that. It's a bad thing, and it can't be happening now. The only spark, the only positive, the only smile in our front three, at least in the game yesterday, was Amad Diallo, because he's always playing with a smile on his face. When are we going to see Garnacho play with a smile on his face? He's not smiling no more. Højlund is not smiling no more. And you cannot play and perform like that if you're expected to have the confidence to score goals. So it's a big problem. But I want to talk to Man United supporters who are, of course, attacking Garnacho. I saw, I think, Planet Something, he's a YouTuber, famous. He was attacking Alejandro Garnacho before the start of the game. And perhaps even that contributed to him even being worse than he has already been. Because if a 20-year-old is going for a match and he's signing autographs with supporters just before the match, and you as a fan, you're telling him all this negative stuff, it gets in his head. He will walk onto the pitch playing whilst thinking about that. And of course, fans do this stuff, but we at times forget what impact the things we tell these players can have on them, especially at what point do you tell a player such things, or even how do you say them, the tone in which you say it. So Faz did attack Garnacho, and the boy was destroyed completely. No wonder he had to be substituted. Of course, it should have happened a long time ago in past games. Coaches didn't seem to want to do it, but it was finally done by Rod Van Nistelrooy. But listen, the poor attitude at the team is a biting example of what Ruben Amorim has got to deal with, what he's got to inherit. Clearly, it showed you that these senior players have got issues with this kid who they believe at times should not be playing games. He's not at their level yet, but he feels he's already there. You know, that kind of attitude, to a point that when they kept telling Garnacho to pass the ball to his teammates, I think everyone was telling him the same thing, even before the game. He started doing it just for the sake of it. That's why he was playing all the wrong passes, even when clearly for a player of his level and his quality, it was it was inexplainable. So it's a bad place that we find ourselves in. But listen, with all the options we have and a new head coach coming in, I think it's only good. It will be only good for Garnacho, for himself, to actually save his career, because he can be crushed at this point. We've seen players who are more exciting than even him at that age die out and phase out completely just because of their poor attitude. I've seen Garnacho now dropping out of the Argentine national team. Of course, he's still young, you will say it, but there are options. If you're not showing up, people are watching. They are seeing his body language. They are seeing his lack of direction, and they'll give up on him. The world gives up on you and moves on. They can do without you. Who knew that Didier Deschamps would drop Kylian Mbappe out of the French national team because he's not performing for France? It is possible. So Garnacho has got to be saved now. And of course, being our kid, we love Garnacho. We know his potential. We don't want him to be destroyed. But the attitude is what is going to destroy him, because what is happening is that his poor attitude is killing Hoyland. His poor attitude is frustrating Bruno, a hard worker. His poor attitude has already frustrated Casemiro, who is trying to pick his form up again. And that cannot be accepted, because what then a good coach does is, if your attitude is killing everyone around you, who do they sacrifice? It's you. It's you. It's easier to deal with one person than it is to deal with a big group. So if there is one bad element affecting everyone else, you're going to be pushed out. So all this is, I think, stuff we need to work with. And I think for me, for Garnacho, he's way too young to be going through such. But it's just about his attitude and not wanting to play for the team. This is education that he needs to have. These kids need to be educated that everything you do, if you're playing in a team sport, it is all about the team, not about an individual. It's about the team. It's the team. Because I'll tell you, part of the reasons why Hoyland is on a gold route is because of Garnacho. It was because for moments because of Rashford. It is because of these people, the front three, and we've seen it before that our best front three at some point was believed to be Garnacho, Hoyland, and Rashford. I personally think now it is becoming clearly our best front three, of course, must have Ahmad in it, because he's the only one playing with a smile and playing for the team, shooting when he has to shoot, passing when he has to pass, scoring when he has to score, at times scoring when he has no right scoring anyway. Like his second goal yesterday, that was, I mean, I think from the top drawer, that was from the topmost drawer. So what then do you do? Send communication to him as a manager by benching him. What I expect to happen for me now is for Ruud van Nistelrooy in his final game in charge to be the disciplinarian. Bench Garnacho, start Ahmad, start Hoyland, of course, and try out something. You can either, if Rashford is not good enough, you should start Zaxi. Let Zaxi start with Hoyland and see what they can do. Tweak things around, but we need to be dealing with Garnacho. But also, it's partly a way of protecting him, because the fans are angry with him. His teammates are mad at him. So it's not really a conducive place for him to be starting games right now, because trust you me, mentally he's off. But also, he has proven to be a good player off the bench. He's probably now turning out to be a better impact substitute than a starter. So, and we're not turning against him for any reason. It's him. I think everything happening to Garnacho has been brought on him by himself, because we're the same people advocating him to be starting games ahead of Marcus Rashford for a long time. We are now the ones saying, let him come off the bench, because his attitude has changed, and probably is feeling like, I think it's a birthright for him to be starting games, and regardless what he does, it should be the first name on the team sheet ahead of everyone. Can't happen, not at this time. So that's my honest opinion. My name is Webb. Like, share, and subscribe as we do continue to hold on to hope not to lose a game under the interim tutelage of Ruud van Nistelrooy, and have a proper handover to the new head coach, Ruben Amorim, in 2 days. Like, share, and subscribe, and let me catch you later.